Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball HTB. Hope you guys well. Hope you guys have been fantastic. Thanks for joining myself and Warriors and our fanatics here today. I'm sure he's a man who needs no introduction, so I'll let him introduce himself. But first and foremost, thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this HTB live today, Warriors Chat edition. But in saying that, introduce yourself, man. We'll go from there.
I'm new. So I'm Warriors enfanatics. It's great to be back on Hold the Bulls channel tonight, and looking forward to discussing the Warriors game on last Friday night, which was played down the stadium. So I'm keen to get into the discussion tonight. So thanks, Hold the Ball, for having me on.
Awesome, and look, guys, just some house rules. Obviously, this is going to be Warriors centered. First and foremost, thank you again for joining. But guys, just some general house rules. We won't be touching on that Montoya incident, regardless of your opinion, fanatics, mine, whatever. I just feel like it's a topic that we need to steer clear from. Obviously, it's controversial in the sense that people have their own opinions, and we're not here to try and divide or even talk about that. So if you have any questions regarding that, forget it. That won't be answered. So again, just that's going to be a red line through that. So anyone asking about that stuff there, you're not going to get a word from me, myself, or fanatics regarding it in this stream. So in saying that, obviously questions, ask questions, just not that one there. That's all we ask. All right. So thank you. All right. So now we come to News and Warriors chat, and obviously we versed the Cowboys, and the game there to some I think was good, to some was frantic, relief. If you haven't done so, you should see my video where I basically did like a last 2 minute sort of reaction, and things got a bit emotional. I think it was a good victory. But anyway, I digress. So in saying that, this is about the Warriors and our game there. So I guess first things first, just talking about the News and Warriors against North Queensland and Cowboys. What are your thoughts on the game overall, fanatics?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a very good contest, very, very good game in particular. I played very well. Cowboys, they started the game off very well, but we sort of started to get into it and, go about our work. I thought, the likes of you and Aiken and that played well. And, it was a good win. It was good. Shaun Johnson getting the field goal, the match-winning field goal in Golden Point, which was great to see. Shaun Johnson was very emotional after the game and the post-match here. So look, it was a good win, and it was a good contest for all, I thought.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. It was a good contest. Look, it's really funny though, because you could probably even make a case and say that the Cowboys probably deserve to win that game. I think in some aspects of the game, they're probably the better team, particularly when you look at the run meters, the effort there, the completed sets. I just thought that in times they were just a better team. But for some reason, during even our bad play, even during the time we played really bad, we still managed to pull it off. And I'm not sure if it's, a compliment to our team. It probably is, but also probably a warning that we need to sort of clean things up, which is quite evident. If you look at our last three games, I don't think it's been pretty. Maybe the Broncos, but even then, the second half, you'd argue we could have put on more points and we didn't. But anyway, back to the Cowboys. So just looking at that aspect, you said it was a good contest. But for me, I'm happy we won. It was scrappy, and stats probably revealed that the Cowboys should have, but we did, and we'll take it any day of the week. But another thing I want to point out as well is just how important it is to have a spine. And just quickly, what are your thoughts on keeping a spine consistent from your 9 to your fullback to your halves? What are your thoughts on that? And do you think it paid sort of dividends for us heading into our match against the Cowboys?
The consistency of the spine is so important in the competition because, you look at the top teams, and the top teams, they do it very well. Penrith, South Sydney Rabbitohs, you've got Melbourne, all those teams. You have to have a consistent spine to do something in the
Chanel Harris-Tavita, I thought played well. Chanel played very well with Shaun Johnson, and I think those combinations with those two can only get better in the weeks to come. Actually, and that's my general thoughts on the spine in general.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, I agree. I just need to sort of touch on it. You were sort of Mike was sort of muted there along the way, so I sort of heard you in patches and stuff like that. Just letting you know. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Again, guys, I'm seeing some comments about Montoya. I'm not going to touch on him. Sorry. Maybe not tonight. Well, definitely not tonight. But I'm definitely going to touch him. So my apologies again. With Aitken leaving, they should try sign Arthurs. Have Rocco and Arthurs at centers. What are your thoughts on that before we get into the player stats and stuff? And welcome again, CJ Moxley, Piripi, Ikwasi, Pro Enzo, Jacko here, Waho, and Al Memes. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. Look, I think the club could look at keeping Jesse Arthurs long term. I think he's just coming to the War. I think he's done a very good job there in that centre pairing spot actually, and he's fun. And my feeling is does he want to go back to Brisbane? Because I don't see how he's going to get any opportunities in first grade for that Brisbane side, because they've got the likes of Katoni Stags, they've got Herbie Farmworth, they've got all that in there. So it would not surprise me if the Warriors decide to keep just long term. I personally think it wouldn't be a bad option, but the Warriors do have Dylan Walker coming next year. That's the big thing. They've got Dylan Walker coming next year. So I don't know what they're going to do with Jesse Arthurs. And will Jesse Arthurs want to stay at the club? I'm not too sure. It's up to him, but I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, look, for sure. I mean, who doesn't want a bit of Jesse Silky Arthurs? You know what I mean? Smooth, come on. You got to have a bit of silk there for sure.
Yep.
All right, guys. So now we're going to be hitting into the player stats where we talk about players individually and give our thoughts. Again, feel free to keep going with the questions. But last time I say this, I will not be responding myself or Fanatics to any comments regarding Montoya, Josh Curran, or anything like that. Again, it's a very highly controversial subject, and obviously people have their own opinions. And I just want to stay clear of that again, guys. So I repeat that again. None of that stuff there will be getting mentioned today. All right, so Reese Walsh, read out the stats and give me your thoughts on them, and I'll follow suit.
running meters.
Reese Walsh had a pretty good game, but I wouldn't say he had much impact in the last couple of games, actually. I thought he did his job. He did play well, but look, I think in terms of impact, I don't think he showed as much impact as he did in the last couple of games, but he still played well. I thought he did a good job, and look, he's had a pretty good start to the season so far since coming back to the Warriors colours.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my thoughts on Reese Walsh, I guess we'll probably discuss more on him, but I thought he did what he could in this game. I saw him, look, sounds a bit cliche, there were patches there where he was good, some patches there where he wasn't great, but again, he's still learning the craft, being a natural talent that he is. But in saying 165 running meters, 5 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist, I'm probably not going to a B2 upset there, but the errors definitely are a part of his game, and he needs to stamp it out. I will say that, though, honestly. Unfortunately, there's something that does happen quite frequently game to game. So if he sort of nails that out, I think he'll be a better player for it. But in saying that, overall, I was pretty happy with his game, and it was good to see him play. And I'll get to the comments there, guys. Edward Gossi, off to you, Fanatics.
Okay, so Cozy, 76 run meters, 1 tackle break, 3 tackles. 1 missed tackle and no errors. Look, I don't know. I thought he was okay. I thought he had an okay game, but in terms of standing out, I'd say not too much of a standout there, but he was okay. Yeah, I was all right.
Yeah, look, I think one of the things that complements Edward Gossi is his big body. He's a big frame. I believe he's about 193 centimeters.
Yep.
I think 105 kg, somewhere around there, the ballpark there. So he's got that big body. So almost to a degree, he's probably got that illusion of that big body ready type player. But unfortunately, the stats don't match up with the size he is. And obviously, granted, he's really good at hitting the ball up. But again, when you sort of see the stats, as you just mentioned before, for me personally, I just feel like he could do a lot more. He's not the fastest winger too. So again, Warriors trying to go that typical, old school approach we had with our previous wingers. But yeah, I think our previous wingers were faster than he. So again, it's not necessarily to put him down as much as it is to, there is a frame to him. There's definitely a game that he has an element that he can add to the game. But I just feel like maybe possibly a few more games in the Queensland Cup may do him some good. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, much like yourself, I didn't really notice too much there of Edward Gossi, who I think can and will have an impact, but we'll just have to wait and see. Jesse Arthurs, give me your thoughts on Jesse Arthurs' stats as well.
Yeah, so Jesse Arthurs, 1 try, 112 running meters, 7 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 20 tackles and 1 missed tackle and 1 error there. So Jesse Arthurs had a very good performance on the field. I thought he played well, and yeah, it's he backed up from the previous week when he scored 2 tries against Brisbane Broncos. So scored 1 in this game. So I thought, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, look, I think with Arthur's, what he adds is that element of, here we go, but silk, that smoothness. He's got a very good agility to his game. He runs really nice running lines. And in comparison to Barry offensively, he's almost the opposite of what Barry is offensively. But I think defensively, that's where probably I think Barry has it over him. However, in saying that, if he adds, I think if he did more support play, I think he'll probably be a better player for it. But in saying that, he had a great showing, though. Don't get me wrong. He had a great showing for the Cowboys. And obviously, because it's such a tight game, every single try scored, was obviously pivotal to our success, our win there. So, again, I thought it was a good showing there. I've got another. Sorry, I'll answer your question as well, Pro Enzo. So, I'll get back to that very soon, bro. So, just quickly, Adam Pompey, before we get to Pro Enzo, what are your thoughts on him and his stats?
So Adam Pompey, 66 running meters, 14 tackles, 1 missed tackle, and 1 error. I wasn't too impressed with his performance, but I that's all I got to say. I wasn't too impressed by it. I don't think he showed a lot.
Nah, look, you try to shift Pompey into the centers, he does okay. You shift him to the wing, he does all right. Look, a game where, I don't know. It's probably like another game from him where he was just there, provided little bits and pieces, but in terms of general impact, I don't think was as impactful as he could be. Again, he's another big body too, similar to Gossi, so you just need more out of the big bodied players there. All right, so Proteins over it. Where would you play Walker, in the middle or back in centers? Goes all right in both. What are your thoughts there, Fanatics?
I would play him in the centres, and I'd play him with Rocco Berry, actually. Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of people, having doubts on Rocco Berry because of the start of the season, but if he was fully fit, I'd start Rocco Berry, actually. I don't know what your thoughts on that hold the ball, but yeah, that's what I would go with. Yeah,
look, I'm only sort of, definitely Rocco Berry. You picked Rocco Berry for sure. But obviously, if Arthur stays, I mean, these are I don't know. Nikorima is apparently going, right? So I'll slot Walker straight into 14. I think he makes a good utility. Obviously, he can play in the middle too. He's a physical specimen, and he's also a bit of a pacey player. And I think in terms of form, he's probably showing some of the best form he has in quite some time. So again, it's a positive projection, which is good for us. But for me, in terms of what we already have versus what may be leaving next season, I think for me, I would have Walker at 14. I don't know, unless you want to slot Arthurs out.
Yeah.
But again, I'd probably have Arthurs there for me personally. But I think you got to have Walker at utility 14 for sure. And I think once you have Walker in 14, that means that there's some other players in the Warriors that we do have now that'll be probably shifted to another club, I reckon, in the coming year or so. All right, so Jacko here has Walker at 14. Walsh played it tougher than usual. He took some hard runs in the middle. His D is improving. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right. Now, what are your thoughts here on this man here, Marcelo Montoya? Stats as well as overall game, and I'll follow suit.
Yep, Marcelo Montoya, 123 run meters, 4 tackle breaks, 2 floats, 4 tackles, 2 missed tackles, and 0 errors. So, yeah, look, I thought he had a very good game. Obviously, besides, that he was put on report, I believe it was. I can't remember what moment that was in the game, but I thought he was good. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, look, for myself personally, I think Montoya had a good game. You can't complain there. 2 offloads, 4 tackles, 0 errors, 123 meters. I would argue and say that him and Walsh tend to be the more consistent players in terms of 80 meters for us, which I think is not a good sign. And Arthurs too, sorry. Arthurs, Montoya, and Walsh tend to be the back three that tend to do a lot of running for us, which is okay, but it's not okay as well. Probably a bit of concern there from my end. But in saying that, we'll move along. Chanel Harris Tavita, the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. What are your thoughts on him in the stats as well, bro?
Yep, so Chanel Harris Tavita, so 1 try assist, 52 run meters. That's 1 line break assist, 20 tackles, 2 missed tackles, 1 40-20, and 128 kicking meters for no errors. So, yeah, look, I thought this was probably one of his best games he's played. Actually, it's good to see. I thought he did great. He was very good defensively as well. Made a few big tackles as well on the Cowboys there to stop a few tries. And yeah, look, it was a good performance by Shaun Harris Tavita. I thought he was our best in terms of the halves. Actually, I thought he was probably our best on the field. So yeah, good, solid performance there by Chanel.
Yeah, look, I'm sure in terms of us as fans, we probably have that one player in every team that we sort of love and hate, and probably that they probably don't shop for most games or some games. Something happens, whatever it is. And I think Shaun Harris Tavita for us fits in that category, whether you like it or not. I think he does. He's a pretty, he's that sort of character player that you like or don't. But I thought for myself, in terms of watching him play for such a long time, this was probably arguably his best game he played for us. I thought in terms of heart, I thought he carried us well, particularly Shaun Johnson, because Shaun Johnson unfortunately made a few errors and a few silly decisions that you probably wouldn't expect a more mature and experienced player to make, and he was making them in droves. He had an ace full of mistakes and errors, did Shaun Johnson, but Shaun Harris Tavita did well to pick up the scraps and make do of it. Again, in terms of stats, it's probably not the prettiest stats, but in terms of watching it, in terms of eye test, I thought anyway myself, he definitely deserved to be the man of the match. His tackle at crucial times, his quite literal holding of the ball, literal moment saved us. His 40-20 saved us. Try assist, obviously, again, helped us get over the line. There was just so much he did there that he contributed to that just made me think that if he plays like this is exactly what we want from Shaun Harris Tavita. The hard tackling, the hard running, the smart decision-making, and just that creativity in that sense. And you know what? I thought today was probably that game, was just a very good stepping stone into the player that he can progress or be, I thought anyway. But nicely summed up there, Fanatics, for sure. All right, we move on to this man here, Shaun Magic Johnson. Stats as well as thoughts.
Yep, so Shaun Johnson, 1 try assist, 77 run meters, 1 line break assist, 21 tackles, 0 missed tackles, 1 field goal. That field goal that cemented our result. And, as that go?
Oh, sorry. My apologies
Oh, there we
there,
go.
everyone. So sorry.
Yep. Okay. So 390 kick meters and 2 errors there. So look, I thought in the first half, I said it in my live reaction I did for the game. I said the first half, I thought he was trying a little bit too hard, because there's a couple of times where his passes weren't, finding the mark, and there were a few mistakes there. So look, I thought he played a lot better in the second half, but yeah, look, he got that field goal, which was very important for us to win the game, and that was a crucial moment for us. So yeah, look, I thought he played all right, but I don't know. It was probably a mixed bag for me for Shaun Johnson, but yeah, look, he got the field goal in the end, which got us the result at the end of the day. So yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, for sure. Look, in terms of being a hero and a villain, I thought that he nicely tied the two together. Obviously, like you mentioned, some good plays, some bad plays, but ultimately at the end, he got us the W. And I suppose all can be forgiven if you win us the game. And I think that's the approach we all have collectively. We're going to forget the bad because you won us the game. And you know what? That's just the way it goes. I ain't complaining. So Shaun Johnson again with another magic maneuver right there. On your Shawnee. All right. So Eden for Noah Blake. Give me your thoughts on him and stats as well, bro.
Okay, so Eden for Noah Blake, 47 minutes, 167 run meters, 73 post-contact meters, 3 tackle breaks, 26 tackles, 0 missed tackles, and 1 error there. So, look, I thought Eden for Noah Blake, besides that one particular error that he made that led to a Cowboys try, which, was pretty clumsy there. It was very uncharacteristic there by Eden for Noah Blake there to let the ball bounce and then goal. But besides that, I thought he played well, actually. I thought he played well and, still eking out those running meters with 167, which is very good. So, yeah, look, I thought he played well.
Yeah, look, I listened to his post-match conference there with head coach Nathan Brown, and it seemed like he was a bit dejected in the first half. It seems as if, sort of like the errors he made, or should I say the error he made, that one crucial error he made probably sort of dampened the mood for him and his morale. But the perfect thing he sort of said, and I'm just paraphrasing, is on the second half, the boys sort of rallied around them. They got together, they collectively fought to try and win the game, and that sort of boosted him as a player. So evidently you sort of saw him in the second half come to life, come to form. Had he played well in both halves, I think he goes over 200 meters easy. But in saying that, it is what it is. It's not always pretty on the field there mentally. Some of our players do experience sadness and emotion, and it is what it is. But I'm just happy that he rectified it by having a superb game there. 3 tackle breaks, 26 tackles, no misses, by the way. So that's a clean stat sheet there. And he definitely made up for that one unfortunate error in the first half. But in saying that, great showing from our captain there, who I think should, as I said before, no offense to anyone, should stay captain when Toher is back. But that's just my opinion there. Wade Egan, stats as well as thoughts on his general play.
Okay, so Wade Egan played 55 minutes, 63 run meters, 1 tackle break, 57 tackles, 2 missed tackles, and 0 errors there. So, look, I didn't really, to be quite honest, I didn't really notice too much of Wade Egan in this game. It felt like, he didn't really stand out to me. Like, 63 running is okay, but, he could run a bit more with the ball. But besides that, I don't know. I didn't really think too much of his performance, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think the way you sort of feel is how a lot of Warriors fans, and maybe even fans outside of the Warriors feel, or rugby league fans in general, should I say, about Egan being there. Obviously, defensively, you're going to get a lot of good out of him, right? It shows you on the stats here. 37 tackles, 2 misses. It's a decent defensive stat. But in terms of general running meters, in terms of assists or anything of that sort of kind, a decent kicking game, for example, in terms of any of that stuff, you're not going to be seeing it. And so, yeah, I know what you mean. Funny, though, coincidentally enough, as soon as Nikorima came, I thought the spark was there. But in terms of just overall defense, in terms of just picking situations. I don't know. It's a funny one, Wade Egan. And yeah, my apologies there for absolutely butchering his name there. I didn't mean to put the A there in front of the E, so my apologies. All right. So Matthew Lodge, thoughts, stats, all that stuff, bro.
Yep. So Matthew Lodge, 41 minutes, 76 run meters, 3 tackle breaks, 21 tackles, and 2 missed tackles and 0 errors. So, look, I thought he was all right. I thought he did an all right job there on the field, but I thought he played a lot better against Brisbane for me. But yeah, that's just how I feel now. Matthew Lodge, yeah, look, he's an all right player, when he plays well. But that's just my thoughts on it.
All right. I want to throw this to you right now. It's a bit of a spanner in the works. Then Marshall just commented, Brown has to go before the Warriors make a joke of themselves. What are your thoughts on that comment? Do you think that's true? Do you think that's false? Where do you sort of sit? And we'll carry on from there.
Look, right now we're doing okay, so I wouldn't get rid of him yet. I wouldn't get rid of him, but if we do somehow go on a losing streak, then I don't know. But they wouldn't get rid of him. If they got rid of him, they wouldn't get rid of him to the end of the season. So, yeah, look, I wouldn't get rid of him right now.
Yeah. All right, thanks for that opinion there. All right, so Matthew Lodge, look, not the best night for him in terms of running meters and what you expect from him. That is to be fair, it's below par. But in saying that, again, 0 errors, he cleaned up something. So, again, you got to take the good with the bad. You just got to hopefully make sure that they sort of fuse and combine in the next couple of games there. But, 21 tackles, 2 missed tackles, you can't really complain. I mean, he did what he did. It's good that there was no offloads there because, again, it tends to go a bit crazy when he does. So, yeah, I'm happy he sort of played a bit of more, it's funny, but he played a bit more, one-dimensional footy, which is what we need from him. All right, your thoughts on UNH, man, stats and thoughts.
Yep, so UNH in 1 try, 129 meters, 8 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 45 tackles? 45 tackles, I think that is. And two missed tackles and 0 errors. So very good performance. I thought UNH was our best player in terms of, the second row there, so in terms of the forward. So, yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, look, a lot of people, and just quickly here, and I agree with what Jacko here said. Lodge was average. The guy should be punching out more meters. Yeah, I agree, to be fair. Brown worries me, but we are 3 wins from 5, so it'll be staying for sure. Yeah, look, it's about wins, right? Ultimately, it's not about how we win. It's just about winning. Full stop. That's the business of sport, isn't it? It's not about how you win. Obviously, we all want to win pretty, but if you just get a W at the end of the night, it does not matter. So, yeah, that's another good point there. And I think you sort of touched on it yourself there, Fanatics. Yeah, look, just going again on UNH, and some people may have even had them as their best on ground. I mean, in terms of stats, I think he probably was. But again, he is so pivotal to us in terms of that defensive edge. We don't realize just how good he is, man. Like, it's gonna sting when he goes because defensively he does a lot of cleanup work. To be fair, he does. All right, Bailey Cernan. Now I'll touch on this one here. Bailey Cernan had 59 minutes. He played for 59 minutes, 89 run meters, 1 tackle break, 35 tackles plus 2 missed tackles and 1 error. Look, Bailey Cernan is a controversial figure, and the fact that it wasn't that long ago when we were literally asking the questions, about him and what he sort of brings to the team, what sort of impact he brings. Because obviously, if you look at the stats and stuff in the prior weeks, it's almost bare minimum, I think, anyway, in terms of what he could have delivered. But this week here, I think, or even last week too, to be fair, I feel like he is slowly progressing upward. And to some people that may not, they may not like it, but I mean, if you look at the stats, he sort of is. You know what I mean? 35 tackles, 2 misses. You can't complain there. It shows you that he was putting in a lot of effort there. 1 error, granted, not great, but still, you know what I mean? He's putting the work down there. 89 run meters. Hey, that's more than what Lodge did, right? 76 run meters. So again, you got to take the positives there. But yeah, I think he's a player who's slowly on the up, finding that form again, finding the reason why we signed him in the first place. If he gets 2 and 2 together, I think he'll be a very good player for us. Seriously, I'm not sure what it is, but in saying that, this may pay dividends. This may be good for us, but again, it may not be. But I'm just saying that this was a good game for him. We'll just have to see what happens next. What are your thoughts on Sun in there yourself?
Yeah, actually, I thought he played well, actually, because I wasn't too impressed by his first couple of games of the season. The last 2 weeks actually has been pretty good. So, yeah, look, it's not too bad. His stats aren't too bad there, and maybe he's on the right path. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought he had a pretty good game actually on the last Friday night.
Yep. Jacko here says, sorry, Akens plays very well for us. Plays very well with real commitment, but he lacks a real punch for a second. Yeah, that's right. In terms of that offensive, yeah, I agree. Manase, hey, how you going? He says, to be fair, Arthur should stay for the Warriors because he's been dominating his stances. Well, yeah, he's been offering us something different. You know what I mean? Like, it's not typical to what we have had in the past or in the more recent years anyway. So, yeah, I agree. Certainly had his best game ever for us, but not convinced. Yeah, look, I think that's probably where we both end up. But in saying that, it was a good game, so we can't take that away. Josh King. Karen, give me the stats as well as your thoughts on him, Fanatics.
Yeah, Josh Curran, 1 try, 97 runs, 2 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 54 tackles. Wow, it's a high number, very high number there. 4 missed tackles and no errors. So I got to say, Josh Curran's another very solid showing from him. Actually, he's had a very good start to the season.
Yeah, I thought he did everything there. Tackling, he was there. Tries, he was there. Running, he was there. Tackle breaking, he was there. Line breaks, he was there. Errors, he was not there, which is good. I just thought he had another perfect all-round game. And again, it's just showing why he is the most consistent player. And I still believe that when Toy Harris comes back, you don't take Josh Curran out of that position. I'm sorry. But Toy Harris either A, lines up in line, or I don't know. Obviously, you put him in second row, I guess, but that's as far as it goes. You don't take away the lock position from Josh Curran. No way do you take it. Opinion there. Give me your thoughts there, guys. Does Toy Harris come and take Does Toy Harris come and take Josh Curran's position, or do you think Josh Curran has done enough to cement the spot? Because I think he's done enough. And obviously, again, you got to look at the age factor as well, which pays dividends. There's a potential New South Wales jersey origin debut as well with that. So again, a little thoughts there. All right, now we're going to touch into the bench before we get into some talking topics about the Warriors. So your thoughts on Bunty out 4 minutes? Stats as well as thoughts overall.
Yep, so Bunty for 43 minutes, 124 run meters, 1 tackle break, 28 tackles, 0 missed tackles, and no errors. So yeah, look, I thought he was okay off the bench. Actually, I thought it was all right. 124 running meters is pretty solid showing there coming off the bench for him. So yeah, look, and I think it was 43 minutes. So yeah, look, not a bad showing there by Bunty for coming off the bench for me.
Bunty from the back fence for putting in the work, baby. 43 minutes, 124 run meters, 1 tackle break, 28 tackles, no misses, no errors. Good. That's what you want from your props. And I think you summed it up well. There was a good showing there. In terms of impact off the bench, he delivered. That's exactly what you want to see. And Bunty for me is just, if anything, he's actually really working well with this. And the minutes he was given was good. It was a healthy dose. And he definitely played very well in the patches he was given. Absolutely. All right, I'll touch on this one here. Kodi Nikorima, 30, and I'll get to the comments. Kodi Nikorima, 34 minutes, 1 try, 11 run meters, 1 line break, 14 tackles, 0 misses, 0 errors. Yeah, look, I've heard a bit of a cry there from some people, an outcry, sorry, that Kodi Nikorima should be the hooker instead of Egan. Now, what are your thoughts on that one there, Fanatics? Would you have Kodi Nikorima as your hooker over Wade Egan? or would you just leave him at utility?
Oh, no, I probably wouldn't, actually, no. I think, Wade Egan's the starting hooker and Kodi's of utility for me. I think Kodi does that utility role all right, actually. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't change it, no, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. Yeah, look, my quick thoughts on him. Personally, I thought he played a good game. Obviously, scored that try. A very funny try in the sense that all the Cowboys were looking one way, he goes the other way. Probably one of the easier tries you'll see from dummy half ever.
Yeah.
It was well done by Kodi Nikorima, who I think excels coming off the bench. And in my opinion, obviously Tavita comes back, so you're going to have to mix things around, but I don't mind good old Nikorima from the bench, to be honest. I think he's delivering in bits and pieces, So that is my opinion there. All right, I'm going to get to the this here, and I'll get to the comments. One of the Warriors fans' favorites, I think, was growing into one. Aaron Payne, give me the stats and your thoughts on him.
Yep, so Aaron Payne, 37 minutes, 46 run meters, 25 tackles, 2 missed tackles, and no errors. So, it has been a hard read on Aaron Payne so far this season. He's not getting a lot of minutes on the field. He's playing limited minutes. It's hard to get a read on Aaron Payne at times because I really rate Aaron Payne. I think he's a good player. Yeah, I really don't have too much to say in regards to that stat there, and yeah, he needs to be given more minutes. That's many times on your channel already. So yeah, look, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, look. One thing I'll say though about Aaron Payne is I'll be very interested to see how he would play starting at prop. I feel like he's that type of player that should be given. I think he's that type of player that should be given that right to. I mean, obviously Matt Lodge didn't have a great game, and it's probably an anomaly in the sense that it probably won't happen too often where he runs that much meters. But still, I'll probably be giving Payne a try tomorrow, to solidify his spot. I don't know, but that's just my thoughts there. But look, obviously you wouldn't. But all right. So just going back to it, Harris is captain, but Curran must be in the starting lineup. Yeah. 124 run meters in 43 minutes. Hell, great game. Yep. Bunty has come a long way in the part. He has. Bunty is just an absolute workhorse. He's a workhorse, man. Oh, please, no. Kodi's not a 14, not a full-time dummy half. All right. He's better than Ben Murdoch Marcilla. And I'm assuming that's in reference to Aaron Payne there, I'm assuming. Anyway, last one before we get into some of the talking points. Jack Murchie, and a lot of fans have been wanting, Mr. Murchie to come and play. And obviously he had, I believe he played for us last week, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, he was part of the bench this week. What are your thoughts on his overall stats and contribution to the game?
Yep, so Jack Murchie, 33 minutes, 66 run meters, 21 tackles, and 1 missed tackle, no errors. I thought him coming off the bench, I thought he did a pretty good job off the bench. Yes, so it's good to see him play some games for the Warriors, actually, and I believe he played last week, so it's good to see him play again last week. So yeah, it's good to see him on the field, and I thought he played all right, actually.
Yeah, look, I agree. Murchie again is a big body. I believe it's about 193 centimeters, about 105 or 7 kg. So he's a big body. We got to remember that Jack Murchie does have a bit of a knack, or probably won't because unfortunately he hasn't been playing for quite some time. But he has a bit of a knack for scoring tries, and I think some of us have forgotten that Jack Murchie is, in my opinion, a very handy try scorer. But overall, look, I thought it was good. It's probably a nice way to implement him. I don't think we'll be seeing Ben Murdoch Marcelo for quite some time. So to be fair with you, I think Jack Murchie probably has that position sold to him. Unless, obviously when Toy Harris comes back, things are going to be shaking around. But this is the time here for Jack Murchie to put his hands up, to let the coach know and the staff that I'm here to play. and 33 minutes, 66 run meters, 21 tackles, 1 missed tackle, 0 errors. I think that's definitely a good and positive way to head forward, in my opinion, anyway, there with Jack Murchie, in my opinion. All right, guys, so that does it for the player stats. Now I'm going to be doing some talking points, and then we'll be rounding it off. And and again, just please feel free to ask questions in between all of that. And we'll get there. So Nathan Brown's better rotation use. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he did well this time around? What were your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think against Cowboys, I thought he used the bench pretty well, actually. I thought he did a very good job there. I know me and you have been very critical of Nathan Brown's bench rotation this year, actually. But, look, I thought he did much better with the bench rotation against the Cowboys. Actually, it's good to see a few more players get a few more minutes and that. And, look, I thought it was much better, actually, last week against the Cowboys.
Yeah, look, I agree. I almost feel like if he didn't have the rotation like this, we probably adds to another loss, I think. But in saying that, I do hope he does definitely keep the same rotation and minutes. It's a healthy amount of minutes, to be fair, and to have it spread so well is good.
Yep.
Like, I think that's a positive thing. We need to. Warriors, a lot of the time maybe people talk about our fitness, but let's be honest, we do need our bench to play some healthy minutes, and that's what happened. And I'm pretty happy about that one there. So this talking point here as well. The spine will get there. What are your thoughts on the statement, and what are your thoughts overall on the spine? I know you touched on it, but probably a more in-depth sort of response. The spine being healthy, is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Things like that.
Yeah, so look, I touched on this a little bit in the live stream, but in terms of the spine, I thought our spine was really good again. And look, I think, the spine will only get better. I think it'll only get better in time. I think there's a couple of things you can work on there with Shaun Johnson and Chanel Tavita, but, that will come over, in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, whenever, as long as both Chanel and Shaun stay on the field and they don't get injured. So, look, I think in terms of the spine, I think it's very promising so far, but obviously it can improve and get better as well. So, look, it's good to see. A couple of weeks now we've been able to select a consistent spine. That's something we have not been able to say a lot lately. So I think they'll only get better, Chanel, Shaun Johnson, as they play more games together.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's been one of the Warriors' general weaknesses, especially heading into, especially during this COVID season, not having a healthy, run of the spine, I think. And I think that's probably been to our detriment in terms of results. I would absolutely, I mean this so much. I hope tomorrow we can see the same lineup in terms of our spine, honestly. I think it'll be a very good thing for us against a very experienced or inexperienced Rooster spine, I guess. But anyway, we'll touch on that tomorrow. I'm sure we will know in channels. Just got this question here. Who signs Murchie next season? So he is obviously out of contract next season. Is that correct? I'm assuming he is. Who do you think signs? Do we sign him, or do you think we say adios?
It's a tough one. I think because he's not getting much game time. He hasn't hardly played too much for the Warriors lately. So, look, it depends on what Jack Murchie wants. Does he want to stay at the Warriors? Does he want to be a player that, gets selected now and then? Or does he want to be in the side regularly? Of course, he wants to, stay in the side more regularly because, I heard what he said, was it the off-season or something? He made a comment saying he wanted to be more consistent and be in this team regularly. So, look, would I sign him? I would actually. I would re-sign him, but we've got a lot of forwards in the side, so I don't know. What is your thought on hold the ball? I'm a little bit mixed. I feel we should sign him, but does the club want to keep him? That's the big question.
Yeah, look. If the club, Ben Murdoch Masila, unfortunately, is just due to injury and up form. I don't know, but isn't making the impact I thought he would be. Obviously, he's been injured, since the Broncos game, and I'm not sure when he's returning. But in terms of cover, in terms of depth, obviously you want to have Murchie there. Again, he's a big body. He's a hard worker. And I genuinely do hope that he does take every game he has with us as an opportunity to stake his claim, to be in the squad, because I definitely see his value in the team. I'm a big Murchie fan, all right? I don't talk about it often, but I definitely am. And yeah, I agree with you. We should re-sign him. You don't know what's going to happen next season as well regarding injuries and stuff like that. I don't want to mention any players, but again, there's a player that is returning, soon. I think I've mentioned his name before a few times. And unfortunately, they do get a bit injury prone. And so it's always good to have that depth there to cover just in case things like that do happen. So for me personally, in terms of the player who's trying to be and he can be and all that stuff, I'll definitely re-sign definitely Murchie for sure. Absolutely. All right. This one here, this statement here. So CHT wins. So if CHT keeps playing the way he is playing, he'll be a benefactor or he'll be contributing to more wins this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I agree. I agree with you there on that statement there. I reckon that, if you got Shanaris to be, when he's at his best, he's a very good young player and he's a dangerous player actually. I think when he's on, he's completely on. He has a good. So, look, I think having someone like Shaun Johnson in your side, just that guidance, that leadership that Shaun Johnson gives to Chanel, I think that helps him out a lot in terms of his game and where he can get better and where he can improve on. So, look, I think if Chanel can stay injury free, obviously, and that combination with Shaun Johnson can get better and in the next couple of months. Actually, I think it's going to take more than a couple of games for that combination to gel together. But at the moment, yeah, look, I do agree with you on that statement. I think if Chanel plays good every week and the likes of Shaun Johnson helps him out, I think he can probably win us a few more games, actually.
Yep, no, fair statement. And I'll touch on that just quickly. But Manasseh here has a comment here and give me your thoughts on it. Give Ben Murdoch-Masila more minutes and he'll dominate like last year. What are your thoughts on what Manasseh said?
Look, I think last year Ben Murdoch-Masila really didn't do a lot, actually. I think he was one of the times, Nathan Brown keeps selecting him like he doesn't know where to select him. Like he selects him, he either starts him or he doesn't play him or he's off the bench, and that's something that confuses me because I think for me Ben Murdoch-Masila is a player that should be in the side regularly. Actually, I think he's a very good player, and although last year he came to the Super League, I probably expected a little bit more from him in terms of the player that he was down there at I think it was the Warrington Wolves or one of those teams he played for in the Super League.
Yes.
So,
yep.
I think if you give him more minutes, I think he's he can be that type of player that can play very well actually. So, he's a big body, Ben Middle. You got to remember he's a big body, and I think if he gets more minutes, then there's a chance that he'll play well. But it's hard to say because this year he's not been playing a lot. And I don't know when he's going to get much game time, actually.
Yeah, look, just to follow through on what Manasseh said for myself personally, I think Ben Murdoch-Masila plays very well off the bench, coming in as a second rower, right? When he covers the second row position. We saw little bits of it last year too when he came off the bench and, he was playing against a more tight defense. His big body, man, does a lot of good things when the opposition are tired, when he comes in late, which I thought was very good. That was the way to utilize him. Obviously, granted, this year you probably can't see much at all, but it doesn't help that he's getting injured. To be fair, that doesn't bode well for him or his case at all. To sort of be around the Warriors, to be honest. So again, healthy. It's so important to keep healthy. I think in this situation, but yeah, absolutely use him. You just use him when off the bench, I think. Anyway. All right. So this is probably more a personal statement on here for me, myself personally. Walsh needs to be injected more. What are your thoughts on having a bit of Walshy baby injected more into the general game? earlier on, as opposed to little bits and patches, if not showing up sometimes. What are your thoughts on it?
I think in terms of Walsh, we know the player he is. He's very talented. When he gets the ball, he's very dangerous. He always makes a bust through the field. He's a player that's not afraid to show a lot of attacking intent actually. And sometimes it doesn't come off for him. Sometimes it's you question whether he should have done that. But Reese Walsh, he's only he's young. He's very young into his career, and he's the type of player that isn't afraid to do that sort of stuff. Throw the risky pass or do that sort of stuff. But does he need to be injected more into the game? I think we need to. It's up to our halves to do that. And our forwards obviously to get a bit of a roll on for Reese Walsh to do a lot more in terms of being on the field. But yeah, that's what I believe actually. I think halves can sort of dictate the performance of Reese Walsh and how you can get him more involved on the field. But yeah, that's what I believe.
Yep. Yeah, look, for me personally, I think we need to. I think Reese Walsh has a very natural instinct for spotting gaps. He's just really aware of his surroundings. It's one thing that I think that's what makes him a really good player too, is he's just so alert about his surroundings. He's very aware. And so when the gaps come, that's why you see him strike much like a viper. I think it's really important for players like him, especially that age, to be given more freedom to run when they see the gap. And I almost feel like, and I may be wrong for this, and if I am, please tell me if you disagree, comment section or you. But I almost feel like Shaun Johnson being in there, it almost structures it a bit too much, maybe. And I feel like because of that, Reese Walsh misses out on the opportunity to just run on the ball willy-nilly like he did last year when there wasn't that much structure because, there was a halfback and a 5'8" that was swapping here, there, and everywhere last year, whereas now it's a bit more organized. And I think because of that, Reese Walsh I think misses out. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a good take, a bad take? What are your thoughts on that? That's just my thought. Sometimes I think because it's a bit obviously we're talking the Shaun Johnson Walsh combo, and we will see it obviously, hopefully, come to fruition. But at the same time, I still believe that we're not giving Walshy baby enough freedom to explore early on, especially. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and also, look, to touch on that, I think it's all up to our forwards, actually. And, I think the thing is we've been in stats, in terms of stats-wise, our forwards ain't running a lot. I don't know what that is. I think, we need to be running a lot more, run a lot more hard in terms of making a lot more running meters. I think, for me, that is still a little bit of a worry that our forwards ain't getting enough meters on the field. And I think that should be, a talking point. I think it's a talking point. I think it should be, actually, in terms of how our forwards go on the field and gaining those meters. And that helps out the likes of Reese Walsh, and the likes of Shaun Johnson and Chanel and, the likes of the spine to combined. That's just what I believe. So, yeah.
Yep. No, I agree there. And I guess just reading some of the comments here, with Lodge staying in Australia, we have the excitement of a new big bopper entering the team. Yeah, but perhaps, we have a few big boppers, big twins, should I say, who are ready and raring to go, I think. And when they are, hey, Amber, how are you going? Walsh is exciting to watch. He's willing to back his decisions, and that is exciting to watch. Absolutely. It shows that he's growing, and he will grow as a player. Yep. Absolutely. Checker here says, we need to dominate more up front to get Walsh into the game more. Yeah, and I think that goes without saying. Good point, though. Brad Shaun Johnson says actually playing in corridors on either side of the rock. Halves need more freedom to roam and bring Walsh into the game. Yes, absolutely agree. We haven't seen Walsh like we did last year because instead of letting him do what he does, he's being coached to do this and that. That is a good point. Now, I'm not sure if that's been the case, but you could argue it has been. All I'm saying is that I'm not seeing that Walshy baby of old, and I miss Reese Walsh when he was just running here and there and everywhere. That structured footy for a player of his ilk, with that creativity, with that just ad-lib style footy. You can't harness that. It's not something you harness. You got to let it run wild. It's going to work, and it's not, but it will eventually make ends meet. It will work for something in the end. I think so. Yeah, well said, guys.
Yep.
All right. Two more before we log this off.
Yep.
Two more statements. Ewan Aitken is more vital than we think. Over to you, Fanatics.
Yeah, I heard he's a very important player to this team. Actually, you look at what he does defensively. Attack, people might say, oh, he's not the flashiest player in attack, but defensively he does. He does make a lot of what Josh Curran does. I think he's one of our important players. Josh Curran, you got Shaun Johnson, obviously, and you've got the likes of Reese Walsh, who are important players as well to the side. But Ewan Aitken is very underrated. When he's, I know there's some people that say, oh, he can't pass the ball. He's like a Soleimani Carter or something like that. I'm kind of like, there was a lot of talk a couple of years ago that Ewan Aitken, possibly play for New South Wales, the state of origin. There's a lot of reps on him. And I think he had a lot of injuries and, he played for the Dragons. I thought even with the Dragons, I thought he had played some good games as well. And I think he's represented, I believe he represented Scotland, one of those teams in the
Scotland
international scene. Yeah. Scotland, yeah. So, yeah, look, I think he's a very underrated player. We are going to miss him next year. I think it's going to be it's a shame that he's not going to hang around, but I can understand, his reasons why he doesn't want to come to New Zealand because he's got family and it's a personal reason. But yeah, look, I think Ewan Aitken's a very important player. I think he is for sure. I know some people might not agree, but I think he's very important for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Defensively as well, he adds so much, but yeah, it's definitely going to leave a bit of a gap. Granted, the next player who steps up, hopefully he does a bit of what he does and probably adds a bit more of an attack to his game, which is something I think Ewan Aitken unfortunately does lack. Or maybe that's because he's playing in the second row as opposed to center where, some may argue should be playing. Anyway, last sort of question here, statement before we close, and I'll definitely get to the comments as well in between that. So just regarding the Cowboys game, were the refs that bad? What are your thoughts on that, on our game against the Cowboys there? And with the some of the things going the other way, it was a bit funny. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, first things first, not just the Warriors Cowboys, but there was a number of games across the weekend in which, the bunker had to interfere. And I think in terms of that, inconsistency, the Titans, I'll say the Titans Parramatta Eels game, I thought that was very controversial. I thought that was, that tackle on, I think it was Junior Paulo. I think it was Junior Paulo that, made a tackle on AJ Brimson. And AJ Brimson, I thought, he played for the penalty. And Junior Paulo got put on report. And I thought that tackle, completely off topic here, but I thought that tackle was completely, there was nothing wrong with it. I thought there was nothing wrong with the tackle. But the way the NRL is these days, the way they judge it, any type of tackle like that, they say it's on report. And I don't understand it. I thought it was a pretty fair tackle. I think it was a good tackle. Rugby league, it's what it's all about, making those big hits, big tackles. And yeah, I don't know what your thoughts on that hold the ball actually in regards to, did you see that Junior Paulo tackle?
Yeah, look, that hit is a hit we see all too often, right? Unfortunately, I think it probably, according to NRL guidelines anyway, I think it falls under that jurisdiction of quote unquote high hit, even though it definitely doesn't look like one, but whatever, I don't know, whatever. But no, I don't think it warranted anything really. It was a good solid contact and play on. I mean, you sort of hear the players sort of harping on about how rugby league has gone soft and this and that. I think they may have some actual, I think those words may bear some weight actually, especially some of these decisions. But I'm going back to the Warriors game and the Cowboys game, particularly with I think it was 7-1, 6 against and stuff like that. What were your thoughts? And I think one of the Cowboys players hit one of the Warrior players on the head, and it was a play on. What are your thoughts on it overall? And again, this isn't just aimed at the refs, towards the Warriors. You can probably even spot something that happened to the Cowboys as well. What are your thoughts on it overall? And I'll touch on mine.
Yeah, so look, I think in terms of this game, I thought the calls went, 50-50 both against both teams, I thought. I think the Warriors had some calls against them. The Cowboys had a few calls against them. I think there were a couple of missed calls. I thought that Marcelo Montoya tackle, which was put on report. Look, I honestly think that was a nothing tackle. Like the Junior Paulo tackle. The Junior Paulo tackle was probably more of a good tackle than Marcelo Montoya's, but I thought Marcelo Montoya's tackle wasn't really that bad. I mean, I was glad that they did not say that was a sin bin, because they said that was a sin bin. I would literally have lost it. Yeah, I would have lost it if they called that a sin bin. I mean, I don't know what are your thoughts on it actually in terms of Marcelo Montoya. That tackle. Did you think it was a warranted penalty, or or do you think he should?
No, it fell under this.
What do you think?
I think it fell in the same category as the Bolo tackle. Really, that's what I think. Should have been play on, to be fair. And I'm not saying that just because of the Warriors. Honestly, that's just the way I see it. It doesn't matter if a Cowboys player did it to us. I like to think that I'm pretty fair and square when it comes to watching, my boys play against other teams and vice versa. And if a Cowboys player did it to us, I would have said the same thing. I think it's generally play on. Falls on the bowler thing as well. So yeah, I agree there for sure. All right, guys, the last part of the show, peace and chicken grease. Thanks for watching. Just quickly before you head off, was there anything you wanted to say there, Fanatics? My dude, my brother?
No, I would just like to say thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure on your channel and discuss the Warriors, the team that we love the most. And bring on this week's game. It's going to be a very tough one on Sunday afternoon. It's Easter this week as well, so a long weekend. So it's great to have some long weekend as well. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully the weather's fine. Hopefully it's all nice conditions and a dry track. So look, thanks for having me on Hold the Ball. Really appreciate it. And also thanks to the viewers for tuning in and watching and giving your comments and questions in the live chat there. So appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
No, look, thank you again for coming on. And again, don't forget to follow and Warriors and Our Fanatics. Again, he's a brilliant YouTuber. He's knowledgeable of the game, and I think the most important thing is he loves the Warriors. So again, please follow him for that. But I thank you for coming on. Guys, this week here for myself, I've got some tips, Nation 4020 as well coming out. I'm also going live again tomorrow with Dummy Half Podcast as well, Sam Revel, as we digest the week that was regarding the NRL, all the topics, and obviously we talk about the upcoming games as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. In saying that, thanks again for commenting, being part of this discussion. It was a very central focused topic, particularly on the Warriors, which is good. And thanks again, guys, for following the house rules there. Appreciate it very much. But in saying that, thank you again, Fanatics. Up the Warriors. And hey, guess what, guys? Just remember, hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time.